so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. So look here, let's go ahead and get started. Please, let's keep it 7 seconds. Laura, I will introduce you last. So 7 seconds, you got, matter of fact, I'm feeling generous. Let's do 10 seconds. Let's do 10 seconds. I know not everybody's would take 10. I'm gonna start with just how you look on my screen. Cynthia.
Hi, everyone. I hear echo, but Cynthia McAllister here. I'm the owner of Quality SAP. We do website development, mobile app development, and we support small businesses with our KeySpot app. You can register free your business on KeySpot. Go to keyspot.com/free, and we'll help promote you.
Thank you. Brenda.
Hey, I'm Brenda Landers with High Priority Plumbing.
Perfect. Stacy.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm the principal consultant for Porter Global Security. Thanks.
Perfect. My lovely wife, Kim.
Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kim Hudson Gray, Deluxe Body Bars, and coming to a computer for your e-commerce soon. As soon as I can get it together, it'll be Pearland Accessories. So look forward to it.
Thank you. We got Sonia. Both right.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Sonia. I'm based here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm a licensed health advisor, and you can use me as a resource for anyone that didn't manage to get their insurance during open enrollment.
Thank you. We got Miss Audrey.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Audrey. I have a company called the Tidy Butterfly, and it's a professional organizing service that comes into your home and help you tidy up and change your life.
Perfect. Ken.
Hey, good morning. Ken Fainer, the Social Glue, social media marketing and email marketing that sticks.
Perfect. You know, we have to get used to not to seeing Ken with his background, but he said he's at the dealership today. So Ken, we got to get you to the Rolls Royce dealership.
Yeah.
Well, everybody knows me. I'm Sinclair, your success coach and business trainer. Well, I'm happy to introduce Laura. I met Laura through KeySpot apps when I was speaking on their website, and I'm gonna give a plug. If you're looking to network tonight at, is it 7 o'clock?
It's 6 o'clock, and I'll put the link to the event on the chat.
I'm sorry, 6 o'clock tonight for some networking. I spoke there last month. It was dynamic, and I met Laura there, and we had a really good conversation talking about Google Ads. She's the Google Ads specialist, and she is from Wisconsin. I believe she is getting ready for the Green Bay NFC Championship this weekend.
Yeah, I'm a Vikings fan out here.
My fault.
Though,
That's right. She's a Vikings. Okay, so we won't let anybody know that who sees this on YouTube. Well, we want to thank her for getting up so early because she has 1 hour behind us. We can see all the beautiful imagery behind her. So she's going to talk to us about Google Ads, understanding Google Ads. So Laura, you have 20 minutes, however you want to do it. And if I would just ask everyone if you can put yourself on mute. And the floor is yours, Laura.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Dr. Sinclair, for letting me speak this morning. Just a quick little overview of who I am. My name is Laura Van Skyndel, as was stated earlier. I am located in southeastern Wisconsin. I'm married, have a couple kids, and I'm lucky because I don't have to do this. I want to do this. So that's very exciting for me. My goal is always to help people with their needs, whatever that might be. And whether that's me helping them or me telling them they need help from somebody else. So that works too. So I'm just going to start out talking a little bit about Google My Business. If your business does not have a Google My Business yet, get one set up. It's super easy. Go search Google My Business. It'll come up. You click on the website, go in, it'll take you step by step to set it up. I am always willing to help people set it up if they need it, but it's usually pretty simple, step-by-step process. They'll send you a card to verify it. Just 2 tips on that. You cannot use a P.O. box, so you have to use either a home address or a business address for that. And make sure phone numbers are different if you have multiple listings, because you will get flagged if you have the same phone number, and then Google can kick you off forever. So we don't want that. So what I specialize in, though, is the Google Ads. As we all know, digital advertising is the trend these days, and it can be very overwhelming to figure out what is the best fit. Is it a Facebook ad? Is it, Ken said he did some email and social media. Is it getting that email marketing out there better? Is it Google Ads? What is it? So I'm just going to go over a little bit about what sets Google Ads apart from maybe some of your social media marketing. One of the reasons that I decided to specialize in Google is because it is one of the most widely used platforms out there. Google's an everyday word. Even my kids say, well, I'm going to go Google it. It's not I'm going to go search for it. I'm going to go Google it. There's 40,000 plus searches per second on Google. So that equates to something around 3.5 billion per day. So whether you love or hate Google, that's the place you want to be for your business to show up. Also, with the ads are the first few searches that come up, search results that come up after you search for something, and up to 40% or more. There's some studies out there who have actually said that more people than that click on there, but we'll click on the first 3 search results that come up on the page. So that's where Google Ads really comes in. It's a lot harder to show up organically than it used to be. When search engines came out in the 90s, it was whatever you searched came up. There was no ads on the side. There was none of that. Now you usually have 3 or 4 ads on the top. You have the Google Maps, which is where my business is going to fall in. Then you have maybe a few organic listings in there. There's a few more paid, and then you're on to the next page. Once you start getting off of those first few results, people don't search anymore. So that's where the Google Ads really comes in. You can come up organically. You can pay people to help you come up better organically. It takes time. It's not tomorrow. Could still be on page 5. 3 months down the road, it could still be on page 4. It might be a year before you're showing up on page 1. It's just completely dependent on the different tactics that you use to show up organically. Paid will get you there as soon as you start those ads. As soon as you start running those ads, it shows up there. So that's one of the benefits to ads, is it shows up immediately, and your business is getting up there, getting more traction, getting more customers, making more money, which is, I think, everybody's goal. So first, Google Ads specifically, the things that are really essential for Google Ads are, you want to have a good website that has a good landing page. I can send 1,000 people to your website every day. If they don't know what they get to when they get to your website, it means nothing. And that's just the fact. If they have to scroll for, 10 minutes to figure out what your business even is, people are on there for seconds, not minutes. They're on there for seconds. So that's one of the biggest things that I tell people. If they don't have a good landing page to send them to, we have to create one. The next thing is keywords. Keywords are very essential in the Google Ads. So we're searching for something. You're searching for a photographer near you. You're searching for a plumber near you. You're searching for an electrician near you. If you're searching, Brenda, I think you said you were working for a plumbing company.
Yes.
I use plumbers as an example a lot, actually, because there's different keywords for different aspects of the business. So if you are a 24-hour plumber, and you have someone looking for emergency services, you don't want them coming up to a website that's talking about new plumbing for a new build or remodeling. So that's where those landing pages really come into play, and those keywords come into play. We want to send them to the right place, or if they're looking for someone to do their plumbing on their new remodeling, we don't want to take them to your 24-hour service. But that's where those keywords really come into play, because we want to make sure that people are, when they're searching, they're finding what they're looking for. That also goes for location. And what happens for a lot of people is they set it up, they think it's all running smoothly, and all of a sudden their ad is showing up. We'll take plumbers for an example. you're probably not doing plumbing across the country unless you're a huge, chain of some sort. So if you're a local business in, here in Wisconsin, and you're getting, your ads are showing up in Denver, that's not good. So keywords really come into play with that. The other thing that I use a lot is cheap. If you're selling something high end, if you have a high end service, you don't want people finding you with the word cheap, because that's not your ideal customer. If your service costs $500 and someone's looking to spend $50, they're not going to be your customer when they come to your page. So we can go in, we can make cheap a negative keyword. So when somebody types in cheap, it's not coming up. Because the thing about Google Ads is that you pay per click. So as long as no one clicks on it, you're not paying for it. So if it shows up, it doesn't attract someone's attention, they don't click on it, you don't pay for it. But if it comes up and somebody says, oh, that looks like a business I want to go to, and they click on it, but now it's not what they were looking for, you just paid for someone to click on that and they weren't looking for your business. So it all just kind of ties together with that. The nice thing about Google and Google Analytics is we can really track all that information. I can track how many people are coming to your website from your ads. I can track how many people are filling out a form, how many people are calling you after they click on your ad. All of that stuff is very trackable and can let you know exactly if it's working for you. Most people, once they start the ads, they'll start getting more traffic almost immediately to their website. It can take some time. Management is definitely key for Google Ads. Like I said before, people set it up, they forget it. Now all of a sudden we're showing up in Denver, we're paying $500 a month to show up in Denver. Hang on a minute, we don't want to show up there. So you need to make sure that you're going in there constantly to look and see, is this running right? Are there changes that I need to make? I set up several different ad copies, and it can be very little minor changes. Maybe the headline, every word is capitalized. Maybe one of them it's not. Maybe one says free, maybe one says no obligation. Those little changes can make an ad perform better. And so I'm looking at those ad copies saying, okay, which one's performing? Where do we want to put our money? What do we want to really make it work for us and make it essentially get you more customers and make you more money? That's where a lot of people set it up and forget it. The other thing that happens is people do the automatic Google Ads setup either through their Google My Business or something like that. Google tells you which boxes they think you should click. I will tell you that most people, those aren't the boxes that you should click. There are some, but especially with small businesses, there's some areas where basically they look to spend your money as fast as possible. So instead of showing up, over the course of a month, spending so much per day, they're saying, how can we burn through this person's money as quickly to show up as much as possible? Well, it's great to show up a lot. It's great to get more people to click on there. But if you're using all your money right away, then you lose traction for, the rest of the month or the rest of the day. There's ways you can set it up so you show up at certain parts of the day. Find out that people are clicking on your ad and they're actually converting, and those people are coming on from maybe 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Let's not run it from 5 p.m. to, 7 a.m. and get those people that are maybe, not sleeping, not paying attention to what they're clicking on or whatever the case. Let's not even risk coming up during that time. So those are all some just different things with management that is just so key that people end up wasting so much money because they just don't pay attention to those things with the ads, and they're really, really essential. And that's what I'm here for. I take that headache and that responsibility off of people's plates to really help them get the most bang for their buck out of Google. I don't work for Google. I am independent. I essentially want to save, people money. So if Google's burning through $1,000 in a month, with my help, can we make it 800? Can we make it 700? Because now we're not showing up where we don't want to, and things like that. So the best people for Google Ads is anybody who has a higher ticket value for their customers. Google Ads isn't cheap. You're not gonna, spend $50 a month and see any results on Google. So anybody who has, a customer value of maybe 15 bucks for a customer, 20 bucks for a customer, maybe one time, maybe even they're going to get them back, several times, but their customer value is not as huge. Google Ads aren't necessarily the way to go. Anybody who has, a really big ticket price for their customer, their spend, a customer value is 300, 400, 500, maybe it's 400 a month, maybe, something like that. Then Google Ads really starts coming into play, because now we're getting a big return on our investment in that case. And there's always exceptions to those rules, but that's just kind of a basic. And the cost per click varies so much by industry. In fact, I just did some research for a guy the other day. He has 3 different aspects of his business. And one of them, he would spend, like, the average was around $2 to $3 a click. Another aspect of his business, it was $3 to $5 a click. And another aspect of his business, he could be paying up to $15 per click. So it's very variable. As people ask me, well, how much do I need to spend? And I'm like, well, let me do some research first, because it's just so variable in there. So that's a big thing for determining if Google Ads are a good fit for you. Like I said, having an up-to-date website with good landing pages, or the ability to change those landing pages with either your web developer or yourself, or whatever that the case may be there. If you don't have Google Analytics attached to your website, I definitely recommend that as well. Because whether you run Google Ads or not, it gives you great information on who's visiting your website, what people are doing on your website. And if you would choose to run Google Ads in the future, we have a bunch of information to go off of already. So those are some basics. I'm just going to leave a few minutes here so that if people have some questions for me, I can answer those.
Perfect. Thank you, Laura. I have, well, maybe like just 2 questions before we open up. I know you mentioned, and I have it, and I think some of us have it, if not Google My Business. Because of because mail is so slow nowadays, and when people, for those customers who want Google My Business, is Google making some type of arrangements if they, what should take about a few days for you to get that code, may take 2 weeks up to a month? Is Google trying to, if Google's trying to make any type of arrangements because of that?
Yes, so there's a couple things. I have found that people are mostly still getting their postcards, at least in the US. I know other countries have really struggled with the postcards. In the US, most people are still getting their postcards within a week to 10 days. But there are some new options with Google where you can actually do a kind of a live interaction with somebody. And you can, if you can show them your office, or show them, like I have one gentleman that he basically works out of his car, but he's got like the decals on his car and stuff like that, that they can see that your business is legitimate. You have to answer a few questions, and you can get it verified basically on the spot doing that. So it's a little bit more intensive. You have to do a little bit more work for that, but it is possible to get it verified without the postcard.
Perfect, thank you. Anybody got any questions real quick? Let's open it up. Feel free to just unmute yourself. We have time.
Yeah, I do. So thank you, Laura, for sharing. I appreciate it. With the Google Ads, you mentioned that there's a various range when it comes to how you want to do your ads, like a $2 click, $15 per click. What would be a average click for a business, or an average amount that they should allocate for Google Ads in a month for a small business?
I tell people, regardless, before I do research, never to expect to spend less than $300 a month. But I tell them most people are going to spend 500 plus. And most people will start spending a lower amount, and actually most people will go up versus down because they'll find that it's working for them, and find where they want to allocate more money to. But anything less than that, you could still get clicks. Part of it is you're not going to get the analytics to see what's working if you spend more or spend less than that. I will say again, there's always an exception. I did research one where she was legitimately getting good return and good conversions, only spending $150 a month, but her cost per click was only about 25 cents. And that's very, very rare.
So
Usually,
go ahead.
I'd say usually you're spending at least $3 to $5 per click, I would say is the most average range that I find, up to 10, 3 usually being about the lowest for most businesses. Again, there's always exceptions, but.
And then how many months should you allocate?
I always tell people it takes 3 months to really start getting a good idea of what's going on. You should start seeing more traffic to your website immediately. If not, there's something that's not working out quite right. But 3 months is usually a good time to really see, okay, what's working, time to adjust things. In that 3 to 6 months range is where you'll start to really see the conversions go up, and after everything's really been optimized. But less than 3 months, it really doesn't give you a good picture of what's working and what's not.
Hey, Laura, I have a quick question. Thank you so much for your presentation. I've been told that with Google Ads, especially for businesses which are very similar, it's not always successful because the competition is super, super great. It's only if you have something that's a real differential. For example, you might be selling a business and you're aiming it to a Spanish market, so therefore you can get a lot more customers. So what I'd like to know from you is what would you say are your top 3 takeaways for really creating a unique, if you're going to use Google Ads, what would you say are the top 3 things that you need to do to really differentiate yourself and stand out?
Well, you hit one thing just right there. If you can target something unique like that, maybe you speak Spanish at your company. That's a huge one that people look for. Something that really sets you apart. You want to highlight that in your ad copy. The other thing is when you set up an ad, there's a lot of different things that you can add to it. You want to use all the characters possible. You want to add all the links you can to it so that people can literally click on a link to say contact us from the search. They don't even have to go to your website. Google decides when and if they're going to show all those things, but you never want to sell yourself short and not set those things up. So everything needs to be thorough, set up. You're going to use all the characters you can and get all that set up so that when people see that ad, they're going, yep, that looks like something that I want, a business I want to work with, a business I want to look into. So that ad copy is definitely huge. And there is some truth to that as far as competition. The one thing about that, especially when you're local versus like a nationwide company, like for instance, I have somebody that does pest control, and you have your big nationwide pest control companies out there. that are advertising in Google Ads. They have huge budgets. The difference is when you have somebody local is you're very localized to that area. They're bidding on that area, not on the whole nation. So those nationwide companies are spending more money, but they're really targeting usually the bigger locations, the bigger areas. Say your big metropolis areas. So your smaller businesses can still compete quite well in those local markets on that front. So your location, your ad copy, and then those keywords are so essential. And if you're showing up for keywords that you don't want to show up for, you got to go in there and make them a negative keyword so you don't show up for them. So those are probably the three really major things to really set yourself apart from anybody else on there.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I have a quick question. How do you charge? Do you charge like a percentage of the buy, or do you charge a flat fee? How does that work?
I charge a monthly flat fee and a setup fee to set it up.
Okay.
I haven't gone into the charging per percentage, or some people charge per keyword. For me, I think it's easier to, and I think it's easier for businesses to know I'm going to pay this much versus,
Right.
it might be $200, it might be $800. There's too much variable there. And then I just make adjustments based on how many campaigns they're running, as far as how much I charge per month.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect. Any other questions? We got about 6 minutes. Anybody got any questions? Feel free to ask.
Yeah, Laura, with your charge, is it based off of like a minimum number of months, or is it month to month, or how do you do that?
So the biggest, I do some contracts. The biggest benefit to a contract versus month to month is I will limit the setup fees. That's usually the biggest thing for me. The most time consuming part for me is getting it set up. It's a lot of work to get those ads set up. On both ends, business owners, their heads will be spinning because I keep asking them for more information, or we got to get Google Analytics connected to their website. And that initial stuff is kind of ticky-tack. And so, but if I know someone's going to be with me for 6 months or a year, I'll limit that setup fee, and depending on the contract, completely do away with the setup fee if I know they're going to be with me for a long time.
Excellent.
I wanted to say something real quick. When you're doing the Google My Business and you're waiting for that postcard, tell everybody in your office, tell every family member who might pick up the mail not to throw it away. Let them know it's coming. I've talked to so many businesses that swear they never got it and someone in their business had thrown it away. So
it does look like junk mail, honestly.
Yeah.
So, yep. So the other thing that I'll say about Google My Business, my last little tip is get those reviews. The reviews will bump you up organically tremendously. Reviews are a huge way that Google starts bumping you up on there.
Exactly.
And in a group like this, make sure you review each other.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Good point. Can anybody got any questions? Any other questions real quick?
I was just going to say, thank you, Laura, for taking time today, such valuable information. And yeah, working for High Priority Plumbing, I've learned quite a bit. And the main thing is that you have to hire an excellent company to manage all of your SEO, and because it's a constant reworking, especially in the plumbing business. We are constantly adding negative words and adding more words and having to bid on words. And of course, we are at a high end, a high dollar per word because of all the competition, but it is excellent for a plumbing company, and any service industry, I would say, would have to do it in order to grow. So thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
Let me ask you a quick question. I know we have a few moments left, Laura. I know Google, from what I heard, Google could be real temperamental and sensitive to certain things. Whether you do Google My Business or Google Ads, what is do they need some type of professional website? Or can I say, you know what, I'd rather use my Google, my Gmail address or my Yahoo? How do they set that up?
So like if they don't have a website at all?
Well, if they don't, either one, if they don't have a website, or two, let's say they don't have, if they use email address as a Yahoo, a Gmail, or a Hotmail, well, does Google flip a red flag or anything, or?
Google doesn't actually flag anything. I mean, you don't look as legitimate as a business if you show up that way. You can, and again, there are some cases where having a Google My Business maybe is enough. I can't really think of an example off the top of my head. But Google Ads, I mean, you need somewhere to send them. So if you don't have a, professional website, you're not going to get any traction to it. Google My Business, like I said, it doesn't necessarily take you to a website. So you could, technically set up a Google My Business without a website. But again, you lack that legitimacy if you don't have a business email, a business website. So.
Okay, perfect. Well, look here, Laura, I want to thank you so much for your information, Laura. Laura, can you give us your contact information if anyone wants to do business with you, call you? I know you have it in chat. So
yep.
If you can, well, let everybody know, because this will probably be going on YouTube and they won't see the chat.
Okay. My email address is contact@lauravanskyndel.com. So my name up there on the screen, all one word, .com, and it's contact@lauravanskyndel.com. My website is lauravanskyndel.com. You can also call me at 262-676-2335, and I do offer complimentary 30-minute consultations if somebody just wants to see if Google Ads is a good fit for them. So.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Anybody got any other questions before I want to thank everybody for all of your information. Cynthia is having a big function tonight with the KeySpot app. So Cynthia, real quick, this is probably going out to YouTube in probably about an hour or so. Once I upload everything, could you please give us information real quick?
Yes, KeySpot Business Partners Networking Session is tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have a special guest, Laura, who will be sharing some tips. She's popular today. So you could go to Eventbrite and you could look up the keyword KeySpot and go ahead and register for that event. Again, it's tonight at 6 p.m. And don't forget to go to keyspot.com/free and become a KeySpot business partner and register your business for free.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. Everybody have a wonderful day. We will see you back on Monday at 9:00 a.m. We will be talking about understanding self-publishing. I have one of the top self-publishing companies in Florida, a young lady named Lavonda Williams, and she will be giving us some great information on self-publishing. So look out for the email. Thank you once again, Laura. Everybody have a great day, and please be safe.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.